Welcome to the Popish Plot. I'm Nate.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Mike.
And today we're talking about...
Well, we're doing the Saints of January, but as Mike's Festivus thing was about how we tend to, be very vague, even if we know the gender of the person, and it's not something where we're like, this is a name, I guess.
It's a grievance.
So we're doing a girl boss
Ooh.
from January, and I only found one because, again, we already established that Mary's the ultimate girl boss, but her feast day is on the 1st, and we were all on break during that day. So
one of her feast days.
Yes.
She has so many.
For the month of January, the Marian feast day was on the 1st.
I love the joke. How many Marian feast days are there in the Catholic Church?
All of them?
All of them. Mm-hmm. How many people work at the Vatican?
Half.
About half.
But we were doing St. Agnes, also known as Agnes of Rome. Or, if we get tired of saying she and Agnes in this piece, the girl boss.
Agnes is one of the OG saints of the church. She's one of the 7 or 8 women in the Roman Canon.
Mm-hmm. I think it's 8 because I accidentally did math on Lucy and said 9.
Mm-hmm. All of them are virgin martyrs.
Again, except for Mary.
Yeah. So here we go.
All right, she was born around the year 291 in Rome. And she died...
Wait.
What? Our printer needs to be
No.
clean.
That was just a smaller number than I was expecting.
Yes,
And yet there it is.
She
And
died
yet there it is.
January 21st, 304, which made her around 12 to 13, also in Rome.
And
so for the rest of this, we should point out that during that time, the age in which people got married was younger. We can still think some things are gross because 12.
Okay, we don't have to approve to acknowledge this was the historical reality.
Yes.
Also, sharp-eyed viewers will note that the year 304 is still during the persecution of Diocletian.
I thought that was the case, yeah.
Yes. Also, her feast day, as you expect, is January 21st. However, in the old calendar, they had a second feast day on the 28th, and I did not bother to look up why. But she just had 2 feast days in the same week.
We'll assume translation. I don't know.
Something about switching the calendars over, probably.
Sure.
She's venerated in all the churches in the denominations that venerate saints. So I didn't have to list every single one of them.
Yeah, because again, her attributes include a lamb. Obviously, her name is Agnes.
Which means Lamb of God, as we all learned from The Simpsons.
Principal Skinner's mother. A martyr's palm or a sword.
Mm-hmm. She's the patron of girls, virgins, victims of sexual assault, betrothed couples, gardeners, and many organizations and places, including a lot of ones for girls, like I believe the Girl Guides, various schools for girls, and many places.
When you get in early.
And it's a name that we still use, so it's not like some of those other saints where we're like, it's Saint so-and-so, who has a wonderful story, and we mispronounce their name 5 times this episode.
Yes, and for all those people who say, I don't know what name to choose, I don't know what name to choose, giving them a girl, because it's all Marys and Marthas. Agnes.
And if she has a sister, Agatha, just for maximum confusion.
I mean, she actually, in her, we're not 100% sure it's true level of story. She had a sister who I didn't write down because she had a hard to pronounce name, starts with B. But there's some things about whether it was a sister or like a family friend or like a maid that was for the family.
Sure.
But it's not her feast day as far as I know, so we're not discussing her.
Yeah.
She was slightly less girl bossy.
She's not in the Roman canon.
What we do know is, again, that she was killed during the reign of Diocletian. There are many, of course, traditions about her life. So, we have a lot of things. Some of these are probably facts. Some of them are probably pious add-ons. Like, when they start naming people, I am a little bit more concerned about how correct it is.
It's one of those things where it's like, I'm trying to put in names because it seems more realistic, but at the same time, what are the chances that these actually got written down?
Yeah.
Nate, why don't you tell us one of the stories?
So, she was thought to have been born into a noble family and raised Christian. She was very beautiful and had many suitors, although she was not interested in them.
Again, it didn't state that she made like a vow of virginity or anything, but it's heavily implied in the stories that she did.
Certainly
that,
leaning that direction.
She was giving her life to God, and at that time that largely meant you weren't going to get married. She had a printer that needed to be cleaned.
No.
They're probably at the top of the page.
This upset them, including one who. No, I just want to make sure because that looks like that's a P.
His
So
name is
one who was named Procop.
I'm sure that's how you pronounce it.
For those of you who have certain opinions about people in law enforcement, it would explain this guy's attitude. Whose dad was the local governor.
He was probably head of the local cops.
Yep, and he sent her
to him for being
a Christian.
Because again,
so basically, look, I want to marry you. I want to marry you. You want to marry me, right? And she's like, no. And he's like, all right, well, that's fine. You're committing a crime, so I'm going to send you up. I'm going to send you up the river.
All right, so
sure sounds like true love.
Yeah,
down the river.
So she refused to deny God when she was sent before the guy who wanted to become her
Before
father-in-law.
the governor.
Always the correct choice.
And was condemned to be dragged naked through the street and then put in a brothel.
See, that's just jerk move.
Then she, according to many of the legends, prayed and her hair grew long enough to cover her body. So her hair looked like whenever you have a child slaying of the Garden of Eden and there's strategic plants and long hair on Eve and just the right place. It just, the hair goes like this.
Her hair
or the really prudent depictions of Lady Godiva. Yeah, she was naked, but she had enough clothes. She had enough hair that it didn't really count.
Modesty was preserved.
And she probably invented the idea of Cousin It for the Addams Family a year later. Because Godiva is like...
Also, all the men who tried to get involved with her in a rather aggressive fashion were struck blind.
Hands off, jerks. You need permission.
Yeah.
Okay. After the son of the prefect...
She's already been claimed.
Sempronius.
Who... It seems to be the same Procop that got her in this issue.
Yeah, yes.
Died. She prayed because apparently she just didn't like him like that. Didn't like them at all.
Yeah.
And he came back to life.
Hey, we were told to love our enemies.
So he released her because under his sentence, he's like, you brought my kid back. However, she was still tried again.
Still illegal.
Yep, and sentenced to death. Although he and the son, were like, we don't know anything.
We're gonna wash our hands of this because
I know nothing.
I know nothing.
And then here's another part of the story where, when I was doing this, we just had Christmas, we just had New Year's. Me and Nate were gone for our big fandom convention that we work, where we were on 6 on, 12 off.
Where we don't sleep. We don't sleep
so
much.
I'm like, did we do her? Did she have a feast day in December? I don't know about, because her and St. Lucy's story, it's hitting all the main points the same. Including that they were going to burn her at the stake.
Except...
the wood either would not start on fire, or the flames refused to touch her.
On St. Agnes' day, we do not set girls' heads on fire.
No.
That's the difference.
Yep, but...
For St. Lucy, it's still getting darker. By Agnes, it's getting lighter.
Yes, but much like St. Lucy, she was either beheaded or stabbed in the throat.
Yeah, and thus, the sword. Tried to burn her, just wouldn't take.
That, and as we learned from other people, all girls love a sword.
I mean,
you gotta be ready for battling orcs or whatever.
Can you blame them?
See, if we just gave the early martyrs swords, they probably wouldn't do anything with it because they'd lay it down and turn it into plow shields and stuff. But still.
Well, again, the apostles had 2, and the Lord was like, that's enough.
But anyway, and
remember the thing I told you about your cloak? Yeah, do the same with the sword.
Yeah. Although speaking of cloaks, her story is one of those ones that can point to early veneration of relics.
Yep.
Because the story, and this is one that lots of things include, so it's probably on the line of we didn't just make this up because we needed to fill things up, and someday there would be Victorians who would learn to run where we walked on adding details. But the Christians who were there at the stadium, because again, it was a time when you could kind of, depending on your role in life, get by without people knowing you were Christian, unless they point out or are you a Christian? Burn this incense to the...
You just keep it on the down low.
I'm not collecting this. I'm cleaning up the floor.
Yes. They went and took, cloth and soaked up all the blood.
Good for them.
I'm not collecting this blood. I'm just cleaning the floor. That's what I'm doing.
I don't want that filthy Christian making a mess of our nice city.
That's right. Look at this marble. This is fantastic marble.
This is great marble. This is going to go great in an Italian villa in about 1,000 years.
Or in some place called England, in their museum.
A guy named Lord Elgin is going to love these.
He loves marbles.
So, as for other accounts of her life, other accounts of her life include the fact that she was young, steadfast, died a virgin.
Universally agreed upon.
The more, as Jess pointed out, the more detailed the accounts become, the more they seem to have been written at a later time.
Yes, the earliest ones we have from the 4th century, which again is only like 100 years.
Technically, the 4th century was when she died.
Mm-hmm. So it could have been within a lifetime of her lifetime.
Yes. Like the major ones, they were noting that this was the 5th, but it's like the earliest. So we know the main points. Some of the details might have been people adding a touch.
In popular culture, because again, old saint with an ancient cult.
And I didn't even point out that, we all learned what Agnes means from The Simpsons, because The Simpsons
Means
did it
lamb,
at
lamb
that
of
time.
God.
It doesn't mean Lamb of God. It just means lamb.
I'm just quoting Agnes.
I know. And Agnes Skinner...
You know my name. It's Agnes. Means lamb.
And Agnes Skinner's wrong.
Yes.
How dare you say that? Next time you're going to say Seymour Skinner isn't
No.
Seymour.
It's,
And we all agreed that we weren't going to say that.
we agreed. We all agreed.
We all
But
agree.
anyway,
I don't know what you're talking
It
about.
must be the children who are wrong. She's commemorated in the Deposito Martyrum, written as early as 354.
there's a folk custom of girls trying to discover who they were married on the eve of her feast day, which, as she's, the patron saint of engaged people.
Yeah.
And it's a basis of many things, starting out, including a poem called The Eve of St. Agnes by Keats. It's also, that poem's alluded to by Kipling, Lovecraft. It's one of the lines is in the title of the Robert Hunter book on the Grateful Dead, and an artist named Harry Clark, who works in stained glass, did stuff on it. And much like many folk legends, it's one of those things where it's a combination of superstition and religious stuff. So there's variations around the world, but basically a young girl would skip dinner. She'd put like either a pin cushion with pins or like grains somewhere, and then move it, possibly by saying the Lord's Prayer or a prayer to St. Agnes, and then go to bed with that like under her pillow in the hopes that she would then dream of the guy that she's to marry, which in small villages is pretty easy to be like, hey, that's Bob from the next farm over. Or it's a tall, mysterious stranger.
Well, and before we get all chronologically judgy, consider that we know people today who bury statues of poor St. Joseph upside down in their yard to sell their house, so...
Yeah.
People have done crazier things.
It seems like a perfectly cromulent way of, trying to define... You're not asking the spirit. I mean, it seems perfectly cromulent way of attempting to divine information that...
St. Agnes, I'm asking you to pray for me.
On an entertainment sort of... on a asking for prayers way, absolutely good. On an entertainment way, it'd be a fun little thing to do for an evening kind of a thing. When, you didn't have TV and
Go to bed hungry after moving pincushions around your place.
Wild times, man! Wild times!
Like, they were wild times.
They did have entertainment back then. But anyway,
Tenneson has also written a poem about her feast day. The Nun of Hrotsvitha.
Now that's a name.
from the 10th century, from what I can tell, was famous in the 10th century.
Oh wait, no, that's not the title.
That's her name.
That's the nun.
A nun named
Hrotsvitha
also wrote a poem.
About her, and she is named in songs by Sting and Me Without You.
And probably many other things, but, this was once where it's like, here's important things about her in pop culture. And I'm like, that is interesting.
We've got Keats, we've got Tennyson, we've got the Grateful Dead, we've got Gordon Sumner. Agnes is everywhere.
And on her feast day, since the 16th century, the Pope has taken to blessing 2 lambs.
Means lamb of God.
Exactly.
In the summer, their wool is used to make a pallium for that pope that the Pope gives to a newly appointed metropolitan archbishop.
Awesome.
So I imagine every year there's probably not a new one, so they get to build up the year.
I don't know. I don't know how much.
They have to mix.
I don't know how much wool you get and how much wool it takes.
Yeah, I don't know how much pallium you get out of two lambs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does say newly appointed metropolitan archbishops.
Yes.
So so maybe they just sort of stockpile them, and then as ones occur, they just here you go.
Yeah. So especially when you remember pictures of all the popes, but especially like Benedict, you would see him wearing a cloth with like black crosses on it. That was his pallium.
Yes. Also, there's an order of religious sisters named after her in Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. That appear to be founded in Wisconsin by someone who was not from Wisconsin, but
Sure.
So when you say what?
I bet they're cheesemongers.
No, man. I was going to ask what the name of the order was.
I didn't write it down.
But you didn't write it down, and it seems silly to go look it up now. So we'll go find it later.
We're presumed they're the Sisters of St. Agnes.
Yes.
Actually, no. Something, St.
Nope.
Agnes of something.
Nope, I got a better idea.
Of cheesemongery.
Yes, blessed are the cheesemakers.
I have a better idea.
The cheesemakers.
I'm not going to go look it up. You are.
Hey!
Yes. So, I believe this is
well played,
Yep,
Nate.
that's it.
Well played.
So go find out what the name of the order devoted to St. Agnes is in Wisconsin, and comment below.
Well done. Homework. I like it.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Or,
while you're down there leaving comments and numerous repetitive, it's the congregation of the Sisters of Blood. It's not actually blood. I'm just.
Yes,
but blessed are the cheesemakers.
Blessed are the cheesemakers.
You could also comment with Saints of February you would like to hear about,
or types of saints that you'd like to hear about. As was pointed out, we went with St. Agnes because we were looking for a girl boss after all of the theys and thems.
A very definitive feminine saint.
So maybe you want,
could we do the dude bros of February?
I really think it's gonna be hard to find a saint who is also a dude bro.
Correct. It's almost like those two things are exclusive.
It's almost like those two things.
They're not, but they're not going to point out the dude bro-ness of someone's life.
It'll be played down. Sure.
Like it could be a lot of stuff when they were young.
Mm-hmm. He was a dude bro, and then he became a saint.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you could probably find a lot of those. I mean, there were numerous saints who, as young men, cavorted and other things.
Well, plus, February is difficult because Lent often begins in February, as it does this year. So on the new calendar, they've cleared a lot of saints so they don't get overridden by Lent.
But I mean, the dude bro of saints would be the most likely not to get cleared. Be like, nah, no one needs to go and celebrate Saint Chad of Chadness.
There is a Saint Chad, and he was awesome.
Yes, and not at all chatty.
That, and while it's being mentioned,
there's a Saint Chad so much.
While it's been mentioned, Lent starts early this year.
Early-ish.
It's right after Valentine's Day. That's early enough for me.
It seems early because it was so late last year. Mm-hmm. It's a full 3 weeks earlier than last year, but it's been earlier.
Yeah.
I know it can be earlier. It just doesn't usually get much earlier.
Sure. Fair.
So, start thinking now.
Give us ideas
about how you want to celebrate your Lent. Don't be one of those people who waits until Fat Tuesday and says, I have no idea what I'm giving up this year. I think I'll just give up chocolate.
I'm going to give up chocolate milk, a substance I have not drinking in.
That does not work. That does not work. Agnes didn't just decide, I guess I'll be a saint. She was prepared when they came for her.
That's right.
So, prepare yourself.
Bye.
Give this episode a like, subscribe to our channel, ring the church bell to be notified the next time we talk about a girl boss or a dude bro.
Holy girl boss or dude bro.
We'll talk about the saints, so obviously.
And until next time, remember to live your faith.
Love your faith.
Share that love.